Hello, welcome on in, good people. Welcome into the Delmarva Sports Insider, the only live and local show dedicated to giving you all local sports all the time. I'm Sports Director Trayvon Miles.
And I'm Brandon Bossert, the best team on the shore, still bringing you everything that you need to know, Trey.
Every single week, Brandon. Welcome on into another episode of Delmarva Sports Insider. As usual, we've got something special for the people.
That's right, Trey. Last week we previewed racing on the shore. This week we're bringing the heat. We're bringing softball to you.
That's exactly right. And the people are wondering why softball. Well, believe it or not, softball is one of the biggest travel summer sports during this time. Millions of youth and their parents travel all over the country to tournaments during the summer.
That's right, Trey. It's a really big moneymaker for our region around here, including one very important tournament right here, and that's the USSSA tournaments held yearly here in Wicomico, which are one of the biggest tourist attractions held by the country.
Yeah, exactly right. We can't forget in Delaware, the Senior League Softball World Series, which has also already been canceled due to the pandemic. That's a real shame because that tournament not only shows off some of the best softball talent in the country, but also all over the world, with the international pool also playing in Sussex County, Delaware, as does the USSSA tournament. Last year, it brought girls and their families from 19 states and Canada, including teams from as far away as Brandon, Utah. Utah.
Yeah, exactly. It brings in millions of dollars with it, and with the pandemic cutting out a lot already this season, we spoke with Wicomico Rec Director James Simmons on if we might see the tourney this year in this week's Insider interview.
You know, what's the rundown with it? Where's the stand right now? And what can fans, if there is something fans can look forward to this summer?
Yeah, so currently we are planning everything as normal as it can be on July 15th. That's when the event was supposed to kick off, and that's what we're planning for right now, at least from USSSA's perspective and Wicomico County Rec and Parks and Tourism's perspective. We are doing everything we can do to be ready. Obviously, there's some things out of our control in the hands of Governor Hogan, and we're keeping in close tune with him, and then also the Wicomico County Health Department to make sure that we've got a very safe plan in place. Should he be able to raise that number here soon, we hope so. Everything right now is slated for July 15th still as far as that event, and while it may not be a 400 team event from all over the country this year, it's still going to be one of our biggest events of the year regardless. At least probably 200 teams, if not more. There's teams still registered from all over the place.
To get some girls back out on a playing field, how much of a relief you think that would be to the athletes?
Yeah, I think look, youth sports is such a huge part of our community here, not only in Salisbury but all over the country. It's huge. It's a huge industry. It's a huge value to a lot of families. So. And a huge release for kids. So we really hope that, we're obviously not going to do anything that's not safe, but we're working hard to be sure that we're ready whenever the time comes that we are able to open and have games out here. I do think that, for the most part, there's folks that aren't quite comfortable going there yet, and that's okay. But for those that are, we're going to have a safe environment in place and plenty of hand washing opportunities. We're taking out all of our bleachers out here so that people can bring their own chairs and spread out. We're going to mark spots for people to sit in so that they can properly socially distance. We're going to take a lot of measures to make sure that and a ton of cleaning and sanitizing going on. I can't tell you how many bottles of hand sanitizer we've been trying to order and be ready for everybody. But yeah, I think it would be a huge relief and something that would hopefully, bring people back to the Salisbury area again as well. I know it's been a rough stretch for a lot of businesses, and this is always a huge event for tourism every single year, and hopeful that we'll be able to pull it off in some form or fashion.
Now, I'd like to thank James for joining us here. But, Brandon, I'm thankful that the tournament is coming back, like he said. But you have to take into consideration so many things that are being risked, right? Hotels in the area, they haven't been as packed as they usually would be. That might be a good thing for the families coming in. But events like this can only up the risk for locals who live near the beach like yourself or in the surrounding areas like myself. And, you know, I just think it's a risk, but everything at this point is going to be a risk.
It's definitely a risk, but we're also seeing the economic impact of what's been taking place with the coronavirus pandemic over the last few months. So it would be much needed for this area to bring in a few $1 million that USSSA always brings in every single year. That would be a big hit for this local economy. But one thing I like to hear from what James was talking about was the hand sanitizer, taking the bleachers out. I think that was a great idea. Take those bleachers out. You bring your own chairs, try and social distance, mark where people can be at a 6-foot diameter from each other. I mean, I think that there was a lot of good stuff that was said during that interview, and can calm some nerves about the potential of spreading the coronavirus at an event like this.
Yeah, and like you said, it would calm some nerves, quite frankly, of some business owners around here. A lot of people have lost a lot. When you bring in thousands of people want to order out, thousands of people will want to go to different places. So we might see the USSSA maybe help the local economy here. That's what we're hoping for. All right, let's take a second to recognize a team that left their mark on the Henlopen softball scene. Smyrna is a 2-time reigning state champion, and they were ready for more this year.
That's right, Trey. The only thing that could stop this juggernaut was the coronavirus. A couple of returning stars, a senior class packed with talent, but their run isn't quite over yet. We caught up with the Eagles earlier this week.
They were more sisters than family.
This family on the field changed Smyrna softball forever. This group of seniors exits as winners of 2 DIAA state championships.
Winning back-to-back, that's something that is totally new for this program.
And ending on a double play, it's just, I mean, I don't want my senior season to go out the way it did, but ending how it did, it was a great feeling.
And they were ready to do something no public school has ever done in Delaware high school softball. Go back-to-back to back.
We definitely, we're talking about a three-peat all winter. We were ready.
We really were ready for a three-peat. They had all the components for it.
The Eagles were bringing back an infield packed with senior leadership, led by first-team All-State first baseman Julia Thor, and the underclass led by junior Peyton Dixon, first-team All-State pitcher. That is, until the coronavirus pandemic forced the suspension of the season.
I thought we were going to be back and nothing was going to really change.
And that suspension ultimately led to cancellation.
The first few weeks, it was more frustration. And then by the end of it, it was definitely heartbreak, seeing that, everything had been taken away from them and they weren't going to have the opportunity to show what they had been working for.
It's kind of just hard for that being taken away without really getting any closure.
Now the burden of continuing their run of dominance falls to the underclassmen, led by the class of 2021.
A three-peat. And keep it going for our seniors that we lost this year that they didn't get the chance to do.
The class of 2020 brought unparalleled success to the Smyrna softball program. Many of these players have been teammates as long as they can remember, a team that became a family and united their community through their play on the field.
These seniors really have left a legacy.
We did it for not only our town, but the community and all of our fans.
The sense of community, the sense of playing for your team, or for your school, for the town, it really resonates with these girls, and they feel that.
One thing that I talked about when these suspensions of play first started coming out was we're missing out on some of these moments that we'll never get back. And one of those moments could have been the Smyrna team becoming the first public school to win 3 straight championships in softball in Delaware. That's something that they'll never get back. They'll get another chance next year, but this group never will. And it was one of those stories that was very heartbreaking, but they were also a bunch of strong kids talking about what actually took place this year.
Yeah, you have to feel for a lot of our athletes in the state of Delaware who were coming off of state championships. You look back on what was accomplished last year in the spring season with the lacrosse teams that won Cape Henlopen, and then you look at Smyrna softball, you look at Cape Henlopen girls basketball, Dover boys basketball, all with chances for a state title. Only a pandemic could wipe it out. But that's what we're doing here at Delmarva Sports Insider, is shedding light on what would have happened or what could have happened. So thank you, ladies, for that. That's going to do it for the A block. When we come back, we're taking you inside the lines. This week's After the Whistle features one of the up-and-coming players for softball in our area. Stick around for the return of Delmarva Sports Insider.
Hi, my name is Logan Jenga, and I play softball for Mardella High School, and you're watching Delmarva